At the 20th most popular free game right now on Quest, Bait is from Resolution Games, the developers of Spatial Ops and Demeo. This multiplayer fishing game has different locations, lakes, tons of types of fish, and of course you customize your rod. And with being out for nearly 5 years, it's got over 3,200 people giving it a 4-star rating. People saying the app is great. They love the daily catch, although they do wish there was more content. People saying it's their favorite game, it's the GOAT, but people in the lower reviews bringing up multiple times that they can't change their avatar, and that's low enough for them to give a 1-star review to the game. People saying it won't start or other bugs, but even 5 years later, enough people are playing this to still make it number 20. At number 19, Penguin Paradise is newer and less than a year old, a game that feels inspired by Gorilla Tag, but you are penguins sliding through the world, shooting each other, taking each other out with all different kinds of game modes, from mazes to royales to racing. Nearly 6,000 reviews giving this a 4.2-star rating. People saying it's great for newcomers, it's a good game, it's great, you gotta try it. To people in the lower reviews saying there's a glitch that's causing them to not be able to play, or a glitch that's making them bounce around, and of course people complaining about moderation and toxicity, but overall a party game with quite a big player base now. Number 18, No Clip VR is described as a Backrooms VR simulator with multiplayer in it. You're in the creepy backrooms trying to get through puzzles, escape entities, and with about a year on the Quest, it's got 5,600 ratings and a 4.5-star rating. Definitely higher for a free multiplayer game. People saying it's a good game, but they need to add more levels. People asking, please update it, citing how the original game has actually been out since 2023 and the 2024 was the last update, and people in the lower reviews complaining that it doesn't seem to be working on the Quest 1, or that they want to set up private servers and find their friends easier. It is still the biggest and most popular version of the Backrooms for VR though. Coming in at number 17, Veil is a big multiplayer shooter on the Quest, and now that they've added a free version that you can check out, the entire Citadel is free to play, all kinds of different activities and even 1v1s you can do. And with all that, nearly 25,000 reviews give this a high 4.8-star rating. People say they love the weapons and gadgets, the realism of the weapons is so good, it's a top-tier shooter, best shooter they've played in VR, and they love it. But people in the lower reviews citing how it says the game is free, but you have to pay for some of the functions in it. And a lot of the recent new reviews saying the same. They're frustrated because they thought the whole entire game was free and it's only parts of the Citadel that are free. But still, overall, most of the recent reviews are high enough at 4 and 5 stars to keep this thing at that high rating. At number 16, Big Ballers VR has a ton of different sports inside of it. Whether it's basketball, football, or others, you can compete online, try and take that top spot, and over 20,000 people have giving this thing a 4.8-star rating. People saying it's the best game ever, it's very fun, but citing that there are still toxic people in it, but that the sports themselves are really good and it's a 10 out of 10 game. But people saying the basketball really is the best in the game and other things suck, that they need to improve the ban system and the moderation. If you tried a bunch of VR sports games, which one is your favorite? Epic RollerCoaster is still one of the most popular free games at number 15. There are a few disclaimers I want to warn you about, so make sure and stick around for that. But basically, everyone who has a VR headset feels like they need to have that roller coaster sim, and this one lets you try a bunch of coasters for free. The problem is 4,500 ratings now have this thing all the way down to a 3.3-star rating. Although people say they love some levels like Dreamland in it, it's an epic roller coaster experience. But people cited that there was a time where they said you could pay for the future of the game and get everything free from then on, and they didn't stick to that promise. Others saying that you have to pay to unlock anything else in the game. People saying that the bundles still don't work. So if you really just want to have a roller coaster on hand to show a friend, this could work for that, but I would be cautious about spending much money on it after the fact. Untangled is the most popular Spider-Man simulator, a follow-up to another popular game called Web Guy that was also free, but now you've got all kinds of stunts and ways to fly around a much more realistic looking city and really live out those dreams of being Spider-Man. Although 1,200 people have given this thing a much lower rating at 3.6 stars. People saying the swinging is really good, it is the best. People saying most of the people in it are really funny and fun to hang out with, but lower reviews say people don't care for the game, that the developers are changing it and they don't like the changes they're seeing, or it wouldn't let them play anymore, they lost their skins. It's a lower rating, but I've tried Web Guy and Untangled, and if you're just in it for the thrill of being able to move really fast and in wild ways, it does give you that. Lucky number 13, Gym Class Basketball is a game that's been out for years, has been steadily improving, and has even bundled up with the NBA since launching, although you will have to pay for some of those add-ons. 63,000 people giving this thing a high 4.9-star rating, 95% 5-star reviews, people saying it's their favorite game, that the black and gold collectibles are a big item to try and get, people saying it's even a good substitute for real-life basketball for people who don't have a hoop at home, and it's just overall really fun. And the very few 1-star reviews, people saying that they want the cosmetic stuff without paying for it, or people saying that the game has changed over time, they don't like the way it is, or they lost their skins, but ultimately very few low-star reviews, a very well-touted game. Aim XR is a shooter to the like likes of Pavlov, but unlike Pavlov, this one is still free. 5v5 fast-paced multiplayer shooter. You can play online or play with bots, and although it's been around for years, only 1,700 ratings give it a 4.4 star rating. People saying, wow, even at 54 years old, they're really impressed with it. The servers are always active. The game is so good. Lower reviews citing there's some glitches though with the arms and the hands turning the wrong way. People, of course, talking about the community though, saying it's 90% squeakers or the moderators are ruining it. If you're looking for another free shooter to try though, add it to the list. Population won a battle royale Fortnite style game in VR that didn't start out free but went free to play later. You drop in, you've got a glider, you can even build and climb, and this game has been out for nearly 5 years now. 15,000 people giving it a 4.3 star rating. People saying it's really fun if you take the time to learn it. It's a brilliant game, definitely must play. But people saying it is old, there's no updates, no challenges, nothing new. People saying it's like the Wild West and the developers aren't managing it anymore. And people saying Fortnite is still better. Skip-a-bit-bit-bit toilet. Oh my. At number 10, Downshot has been compared a lot to a game that's not free called Bonelab. Downshot is a physics-based multiplayer game with all kinds of weird stuff you can do in it, from giant tests to shooting random people and all kinds of other physics. And 3,000 people giving this a decent 4.4 star rating. People saying it's the funniest game of 2025. People saying that the developers came back and fixed it when they weren't happy with it before, mentioning how it's stupid but fun, but people blaming the game for people having heart attacks in it. Others saying that it gets boring quick, or that the mod won't update, or even that their game got hacked. It's a game that gives you a lot of freedom, but with that comes some risks. Yeeps is a newer game but has been received so well by the VR community. With hide and seek, you're a yeep bouncing around with tons of stuffing inside you that you can pull out and craft basically anything you want, all kinds of unlockables, and unlimited ability to do map building yourself. 67,000 people giving this a 4.9 star rating. 94% of those are 5-star ratings, only 1% 1-star. People saying it's the best VR game out there. They love it so much. They highly recommend it. You've got to try it. It's the coolest game. But of course, more reviews about toxic community. People saying it's a cash grab, it's pay to win, but one of the highest ratings you'll see on the list today. VRFS Futbol, aka Soccer Simulator, a free game that ends up in the top all the time. A soccer game known for having some of the best soccer physics out there. Multiplayer modes, and it's all skills. You can't buy anything to make you better at the game. And in the couple years it's been out, 3,500 people have gotten this thing to a 4.4 star rating. Reviews citing 8 months of playing and it never gets boring. It's so good, you can just keep playing. There's nice people and you can have big matches in it, but others saying that there is broken things in the game and saying that they miss the old way it was. Now there's too many kids, toxicity, a lot of the same things you hear, but the developer responding to a fair number of the lower reviews, and it's the only soccer game you'll see on the list. At number 7, you're gonna start to see more of the gorilla-based games here. Scary Baboon, a horror game where you're running from monsters using that gorilla tag style locomotion where you bounce on your hands. Of course, cosmetics, grabbables, different game modes. And Scary Baboon is a newer one with less than a year old, 7,900 ratings, and a 4-star rating. People are saying that the revamp or the remake brought up problems. They're not as happy with it as they used to be. Even all of these 5-star ratings saying, please bring OG back, change it back to the way it was. And then you see the same thing echoed in the 1-star reviews as well. Why the revamp? Bring back the old Scary Baboon. What happened to the game? And unfortunately, it does seem like this remake is bringing down the score of the game overall. If you've been playing for a while, what do you think about the revamp? At number 6, Rec Room is one of the OGs of VR, a huge social hub with all kinds of things you can do, from playing mini games together, paintball, laser tag, go-kart racing, and a maker pen where you can build your own rooms. And there's everything you can imagine that people have built in this, from things like Pokemon rooms to Lord of the Rings rooms. And it's also available flat on basically every console and even phones. But the VR version on Quest has got 33,000 reviews, giving it a 4.2 star rating. People talking about how much they love Rec Room and why they love it in the reviews, saying it's one of the best VR games, that they're addicted to it, it's amazing. But people saying now the new junior accounts are ruining it, putting their accounts under parental management, even though they've been playing for years. And a lot of people saying, of course, that they're not juniors, but yet they're stuck in a junior account now. It's a game I haven't spent much time in a while, but some of my earliest fun memories in VR is hanging out in this game with friends. For a long time, that last game, Rec Room, was called the Roblox of VR, but then Roblox is now in VR and has overtaken Rec Room in popularity community this round. This is, of course, Roblox, the worldwide sensation, over 66 million daily active users, with people creating all kinds of different things. You can basically do whatever you want to in this game. 8,000 people now rating the VR version, down to just a 3.8 star rating. People saying they like Roblox. Even as they turn 18, they still enjoy it. Life is Roblox, literally. It's one of the most fun experiences. It's like regular Roblox, but VR, so it's even better. But even years into it now, people are still saying it needs to be fixed. It has too many bugs. Other people saying new age restrictions have locked them out. And people comparing it to Fortnite and saying Fortnite is still better. Weird how there's no VR Fortnite, yet it comes up in the reviews all the time. Animal Company comes in at number 4, and even though we're getting near the top, this is a pretty new game to be showing up that high and popular. Having been out less than a year, people saying this is like Lethal Company and VR mixed with a little bit of Gorilla Tag, with multiplayer adventures, customizers for your animals, and new content coming out all the time. And 27,000 people give this a high rating at 4.8 stars. Super fun game. Sigma, amazing, nice. It's so good. But people saying make a better community, please. Is that really possible by the developer? Others saying the community sucks. It's not the same. The Mimic update ruined it. Or people saying they lost money that they put into the game. This game is quickly becoming a juggernaut in the VR community, though. Number 3, one of the original OGs of VR in general, VR Chat, a social lobby hangout that you can also make all kinds of places and do all kinds of things. Probably the closest thing VR has to Ready Player One's Oasis, and now it's also available on phones and other consoles. 29,000 people, though, giving the VR Quest version 3.7 stars. People saying it's 5 stars with the custom avatars, the abilities, the effects, and everything in it. Others saying it's amazing. But of course, people citing community issues are saying the moderators don't care. Others making a case that the game should just be banned. And others bringing up the idea of a tier system or something like Karma that actually rates the players. The last time you were in VR Chat, how was it? At number 2, it may come as a bit of a surprise, but Meta Horizon Worlds, more popular than VR Chat or Rec Room. This is Meta's version basically of the same thing. A world where you can hang out, you can create, and some people even make full careers out of their creations in their rooms that they build in this. With that, 11,000 people giving it also a pretty low 3.6 stars. People saying they love Meta, and 98% of the time it's great. Reviews talking about how this is going to become a digital entertainment brand. And there are people that even do online marketing through this and throw real paid events in it. But of course, in the low reviews, people saying that this is so forced that they even renamed the operating system on the Quest to try and get Horizon more popularity, that it's pushed in your face way too hard. People feel like they're getting recommended worlds when they think they're getting a game. They're just getting knocked into a Meta Horizon world. Definitely a lower review for such a popular game. And of course, if you know the world of Quest, you can guess the number 1 most popular game, Gorilla Tag. The original gorilla-based locomotion game where you bounce around on your hands, tag your friends, chase them down, and it's become so much more than that, with a ton of people playing this game. Almost 140,000 people rating it 4.6 stars, although it's very hard to find the real reviews, with many of them just saying things like monkey or just being emoji spamming, or people asking to be moderators. But reviews saying that this is the best gorilla game ever out there. It is the OG of all gorilla games, with reviews saying things like amazing, I love Gorilla Tag, potassium, monkey, 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 monkey. You can probably guess with all that a young age is very attracted to this game. If you go looking for the lower reviews, people saying that they don't like the updates, that there's unnecessary bans, the game is just toxic, there's hackers. Being the biggest, most popular free game, you can kind of expect that it gets really wild in it. But that's the 20 free games people are playing the most right now. Are there ones on the list you thought should have been there that weren't, or did you think some of them should have been higher? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to say thank you once again for hanging out with me here today, and I'll see you in another reality.